global warming. Well, those scientists are so freaking crazy. Right now, there's a lake. It opened up in Antarctica that is putting out more methane gas as I talk than all the cows in this world farting right now would do. And and it's crazy. And we're destroying our planet. And my time is pretty much gone. But, I have my kids and I have my grandkids and they're going to have kids. And maybe that's where it's going to stop.
And we're getting there. We're getting there quicker than most people realize. You're right. It is crazy. And like, again, with the YouTube videos I was doing a couple of years ago talking about the state of our country or the democratic process, about how, like, Republicans with their voter suppression laws, and also what we saw in the primaries, that recognize there's forces in the world that will lie and cheat and steal, and they are drawn like moths to a flame to power. Chief of police, these CEOs, politicians. Why does politician have a negative connotation? For me, you don't trust politicians because they are psychopaths. They're not psychopaths. Aren't serial killers. Those are the guys that sit at the top of. Or they're just greedy, arrogant fools.
No, they're egotistical. That's what majority of them are. That's why they wanted power. Okay, so they wanted to be a mayor, or they wanted to be a councilman, or they wanted to be a senator or a congressman or a president of the United States. They wanted the power. Let's face it.
You're right, and it's not complicated. And when you've dealt with them firsthand, which I think all of us have, I've dated girls, their ex-husband. And it's not just one thing. There's a checklist of characteristics, and it's like clockwork. They are 100% predictable. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Count of Monte Cristo. And so, the Jim Caviezel version, right, came out 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay, so you got the politician, you got the noble, and you get the businessman bastard. And they all screwed him because they will do that. And how do you get him back? He sets them up. They will take the bait. And my brother had a psychopath in his business. He was driving him nuts. I'm like, dude, that's a psychopath. He says, yeah, I know. Okay, dude, set him up. Set him up. He will take the bait. They can't help it. And if life is a game, which to me, that's a great analogy, you play these video games and you run to the boss, you learn what the boss's moves are. They are 100% predictable. You'll learn their pattern. And then you beat them. It ain't that hard, and I hope humanity wakes up to that. We got to change our diet, the way we think about each other, and stop allowing these tyrants, these psychopaths, to run our country. It bothers me that Kim Jong-un is the head of state in North Korea. That's not their problem. That's all of our problem. Or Putin, or Netanyahu, or on it goes, the Duterte. And the Philippines.
But one thing? Putin is probably more loved worldwide right now than Trump is.
That may be, but
think about it. I mean, if it wasn't for Putin, I don't think we'd even have Trump as our president. That's how corrupt everything is.
Yeah. Well, like I say, it gets worse and worse until it doesn't, and then you have a revolution. And I want to be one of those voices. That's one of the reasons I reached out to you and your show. I don't care about money. I don't. I got my world peace plan. I've got it on YouTube. I share it on also. I don't want your money. Just take this message and go. Let's have a conversation about what are the areas that all of us need to focus on, to the point that human beings don't want to go to war anymore. Well, people need food and water. They need education, health care. They need opportunity. And where there's a part of this world where they don't have it, then all of us need to just think about what we can do to change that. And to stop allowing these tyrants. They ain't going to change. You can't blame Trump for being what he is. All these, comedians, they make fun of it and make jokes. That ain't good enough. That's not changing anything. He's not going to change. He's serving his role.
Yeah, as long as he's there.
To just wake people up. Yeah, that we can't keep thinking that politics don't matter, that it's not important to vote. Democracy only functions when people participate in the process. And when less than half the country votes, that's a recipe for failure. Then the powers that be just gain more and more power.
Okay. Now, Douglas, we got to kind of shift into the paranormal side.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, because we went an hour now about politics and the stuff. We need to kind of get into what the show is a little bit about. Now,
okay.
UFOs, aliens, and our universe. What do you know about UFOs?
So I haven't really had first-hand experiences with UFOs, other than maybe one thing, which is minor. Back, again, 2016, before I had that whole magic experience, after I pretty much saw the sun explode, I felt like the sun was haunting me. It was like a vampire experience. But I remember waking up in a hotel in Los Angeles, and I kept looking at the sky. There's something up here for me to see, the message for me, and it was around dusk. The sun had gone down, and I see this one star, and you have these sensations of the universe talking to you, and the star was looking at me. I felt like it was maybe calling me home, and I just saw this thing dance around. It was going all crazy, and then disappear, and that to me was the closest experience I've had of a UFO. But if my theory holds that our universe, our dimension of reality, is a star, then to me that every star in the sky is a universe unto itself. So I laugh when you say, well, we're alone in the universe. We're not alone. There's intelligent life all around us, and they're not going to come and destroy us and eat us. And no, they are watching us, watching our evolution. They're guiding us.
Well, I gotta ask you a question though. They're not here to eat us. How do you know that? Because look what man does. Man will eat virtually anything he can eat on this planet. Correct?
Yeah.
We eat cattle. We eat fish. Yeah. We eat other human beings yet on our planet.
Yep.
Now, okay, and because we look at the cattle they're not anything intelligent, so we eat them. Fish isn't intelligent. Right now, let's take a species from another solar system, another star, right? That is millions of years advanced than us. How do you know they don't look at us as nothing more than an ant?
Well, I guess we don't know anything, but it's both a sense I have from feeling from an emotional standpoint, but also an intellectual standpoint, that if that was what they wanted to do, they could do it already. We are the bottom of the evolutionary rung. This life on planet Earth. Look at it. It's always been messed up and stupid. The greed and the wars and all the rest. That I just feel it in my bones, every sense of my being, that we are part of a galactic, infinite family. That we have to go through, and it like a crucible process to evolve to the point that we would die for it. And then we're ready to evolve and then join like the galactic family. That again, every star is intelligent, and I think they watch us and guide us at times like this. They're not going to let it fail, and they're not here to punish us. It doesn't make sense to me that that's how life in the universe would work.
I don't know. See, a lot of people, we're rationalizing this with our own intelligent level. You know, with the way we think, the way we've been conditioned. We don't know what another alien race, what their thoughts would be. Because, we think right now we have morals, we have all this stuff. Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say there is an alien race out there that doesn't have morals like we do, the thought pattern like we do. So you have to look at what we think is one thing. They could be completely the opposite.
Yeah, you got to leave yourself open to that possibility. Possibly it's true, and I don't claim to know anything. I just have my theories, right, based on just all the things I've researched and my experience and my feeling of how life works.
Well, see,
and it doesn't.
I look at things like with all the missing people, from like even in our national parks, there has been so many people have vanished in national parks from 1900 to like 4 years ago. We're talking over 15,000 people gone into parks and just totally disappeared. Now, some of them fell off a cliff, some of them drowned, some of them just died out in the bushes or fell off a cliff. But for that many people, no. How about the people who go on a road trip and never make it to the other end? They find their car parked somewhere and no body, no nothing. I mean, there is so many missing people going on daily that maybe, I'm just looking at, we got to open our eyes up. That just because, I hate to say it, people call up on my show and say that, oh, aliens, they're warm, fuzzy, they're lovable. Well, we don't know that. We only look at that as how we think. We don't know how they think. We don't know how they involved. We don't know their thought pattern. So, I mean, that's what scares me.
Right, we don't know. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't know. Like I say, maybe we'll never know.
Well, maybe
so
we do know.
To know. But it just doesn't resonate or jive with me. That it take all those missing people to think that's enough to sustain these aliens. If that's what they wanted to do, they'd have done it a long time ago. If they are so advanced, they don't need us. I mean, we're talking about with our technology, we can produce meat right in a petri dish. Certainly, they could do that. There's no need to prey on us. And we look at ancient, like Egypt and all those the symbols and paintings of aliens. Look at how far our technology has come in the last 200 years.
No,
we didn't have electricity.
Well, look how far our technology has come, Douglas, since the Wright brothers. Think about this.
Right. Yeah.
That less than 100 years. Look what has happened. How far we advanced, and any time for recorded history, man has never advanced as fast as we're advancing right now.
So we think. But maybe that's part of God's game. That they've done this before. Ancient Egypt, they had electricity. They had all these things. But you know what? It gets boring. They can just pass on all that information, and it's boring. Like I say, if there's a God, and I think there is, then God's role is to both challenge us and support us. But, if we had time travel and we had, aliens just giving us all the information, then it's just freaking boring. And it's like stagnation. There's a reason that we have to struggle. And then maybe in our dimension, we will find those answers. And then that next generation of Earthlings, they just have to find it on their own. I don't know. I kind of think that's how it works, actually. That we reach a point where it becomes boring. We become these infinite, godlike, eternal beings, but we can't interfere with free will, and we can't give all the answers, because then there's no growth. But, like you said, from the Wright brothers to now, the strides we've made is knocking on the door of artificial intelligence. And then we look back, like our technology 100, 200 years ago, to me, it's not that far ahead of what they had 1,000 years ago. I mean, living by candlelight. And so the human mind, I don't know, they must have had people figure this stuff out. I think Tesla figured it out. I think Einstein figured it out. I think lots of, here's another interesting thing about like my journey and like my scientific, to me, revelations. We go back and we look at Albert Einstein, and a lot of his breakthroughs came at a time where the world was seemingly falling apart. World War I. So again, to me, it's gravity. It's times like this, these times of darkness, that the light comes out, that we have these revelations. We go further. We go back at the life of Copernicus, and same thing. In these troubled times, this guy had all these scientific revelations. And I think it plays into my concept of maybe our universe is a star. And when gravity, it seems like things are dark, then you have a revolution, a supernova. The Archangel Michael and all these stories of the solar god coming down. I think it relates to the experience I had on that drive at the 5 freeway, where to me, I saw the sun explode.
Yeah. Well, that could very well happen, I mean, that every
gravity.
Yeah. Well, every day and every second is nothing more than a gamble if there's going to be another one. Now, what? Okay, you're in your book. How far into writing this book are you into it?
Yeah, well, so I've got a couple hundred pages written, encompassing most of the major events, like, again, the conversations and